Kieran, thank you for talking to us. How do you assess it?
Yeah, a good win. That was the main thing about the trip, is to come here and get 3 points. Difficult game. First half took us 20 minutes or so probably to get to grips of the game. They obviously mark and defend man to man a lot of the time, but it was a little bit different than what we were expecting. They left us a spare centre back, so it took us a little while to get to grips with where the overload was, and took us a while to get into the game. But we grew into it end of the first half and started to create some chances. And second half, thought we stepped it up a notch and really took the game away from them. And obviously, great to score the first goal with a set piece. It was coming. We were close with a set piece in the first half with Leaf's header, and you need that sometimes in these tough away games. You need to unlock the door with a set piece, and then very often the second goal comes after that. So really happy about that. Lots to be happy about. Great support, and glad we sent them home with a win.
When you mentioned things like the overload in the early stages, in what ways and how did you adapt to that?
Yeah, it was a case where usually they press up against both centre backs, and your spare man ends up higher up the pitch. But they were working with the big number 9 in between the two centre backs, so we needed to use that overload a little bit better, and then connect through the pitch with some third man combinations, things that we work on, but we haven't faced it like that this year. And it was, I say, the strategy was a little bit different than what we were expecting. So it took us a while to use the ball as well as we could, but the players, got messages on in the first half, started to adapt to that. Second half then actually changed a bit and become more like what we were expecting. They locked onto both centre halves, opened up a bit more space for us, and we used that space well and really took the game.
What was the mood in the dressing room like at half time, and what were your thoughts at half time?
Yeah, I think the boys were calm. They knew that we had another gear to go and we hadn't quite hit our top level, but having said that, after the first maybe 10 minutes or so, I don't think we were under any threat at all, really. So they knew that we just needed to keep doing the right things. I think we didn't quite manage to find our legs in the first half. It can happen after obviously almost 6.5 hours sitting on the bus yesterday. I don't think we quite managed to find our energy levels quite at the highest level that they usually are. So we knew we needed to up that in the second half, make the game a bit more intense, crank it up a few notches on that side, and it's hard to live with us when we do that. So the players were calm. They knew we had to bring it up a notch, and we managed to do that in the second half. And again, we're just really happy that so well supported today, that they've got a long journey home, but hopefully a happy journey home.
Once again, the substitutes made an impact as well. Chappers has really found his goal scoring touch recently. How pleasing was that?
Yeah, very happy. I've had some good banter with him after the game, because he had his little injury on Tuesday. He wasn't able to train for a couple of days, so we know we have a really strong squad. We didn't want to take any risks with him. He thought he might be okay to start. We thought it was better to have him for a really impactful 30 minutes or so than take any risks. So we're trying to get him to agree in here that I was right, and it was a good call in the end.
Not that it hasn't been the case at home, but of course the away record is so strong. What's clicked?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it too much, to be honest, about the away record or the home record. I think we try and play as well as we can in every game. To be honest, with the support that we get away from home, it feels at a home game sometimes with the atmosphere. I think it's definitely a case that teams come out against us a little bit more, to be honest. Not that they overplay, but in the second half, I think the changes that John made at half time were certainly there. They tried to be positive and they tried to be more aggressive in their press against us, and that opened up a little bit of space. Maybe little things like that possibly we don't get at home, where teams are more happy or obviously very happy usually to settle for a point. But to be fair to Accrington, they're a positive team, and I think they wanted to win it in the second half. So maybe little things like that, but I don't think there's much in it, really. I think we're performing well home and away. It's fine margin sometimes. We should have won the game last week. In my opinion, we did win, but I won't go back into that. And then we'd say the home record's been really strong as well. So no, it's a good win, reflective of a good spirit and a good attitude and a growing maturity in that dressing room that makes it possible to come to really difficult places like this and win games.